Hello, friends.
I am Shen,
And I'm Lay.
and welcome back to the Wild Day Nap podcast.
Yeah. How are you?
I am not bad.
Okay.
It's been an interesting week.
For the both of us.
What is new? So winter's won, so that's exciting news. I'm excited
Yay.
about that. I have a toddler. Is she a toddler now?
I think so.
Yeah, so I have a toddler. That's exciting. I just had her birthday party.
Oh, yeah.
That was fun. I'm happy it's
was.
over.
It was a good time. It was beautiful. You did a great job.
Thank you. And at her party, everyone got sick. Every last child.
I was going to say, I'm like, it was beautiful until it wasn't.
But every last child got sick, including Lay and I. So we had to take a little week off
Girl.
because it was such a struggle. Still struggling.
It's still a struggle
Winter
on both
still
ends.
is a snot-nosed baby.
Oh my God, Yara, I was dying of laughter at the thought of Winter waking up with a crystallized face from snot.
I wasn't even exaggerating.
And that is legitimately how Yara woke up yesterday. I was like, what? You could ice skate on her face. It was disgusting.
She looked up at me and I was like, ew.
Yeah, it was nasty. It was it was
Yuck.
repulsive. I just left her in the crib, went and grabbed like a rag and like soaked it under some warm water.
Yeah.
And came back. I'm like, I can't even take you out of the crib this way.
Oh,
Like I need to
God.
attack your face while you're still in there. So it's
was,
bad.
It was rough. It was such a long week. I was so sick.
Oh, jeez.
It's like the one time I don't want Winter to touch me. She's
Right?
like trying to give me open mouth kisses.
Yeah. It's just like, and like sucking on every part of my face. It's like, why do you want
Yeah.
all of a sudden like to open mouth kiss my nose? Like, why are we doing that? Like, that's new. What an odd time to introduce that. Like, no,
Ew.
not now. But that's it. She wants to put her mouth on my eye, on my nose. I'm like, I'm never getting better.
No,
Ever.
I don't know. I need some vitamin C or something
my
because this
gosh.
is not it.
I need quarantine. I need to be quarantined.
Right?
That's what I need.
Whatever. It's life. It's life.
Yeah.
I'm excited though. She's starting daycare tomorrow.
Ooh. I think it's so interesting that you're excited because I feel like the general consensus around like your child starting daycare is like fear and
Yeah, everyone has that reaction
Yeah.
when I'm telling them that she's going to daycare, and I'm so happy.
yeah, you're thrilled.
I'm thrilled. I texted the babysitter or the daycare. I'm like, how early can I drop her off? It's
So
not that
now?
I want. It's not that I don't want her around. It's just I'm just doing it for one day a week for now until I go back to work. But I think it's fair that I get one day
Absolutely.
a week for a full day, like 6:30 a.m. See you later, Winter. 5 p.m. Fine, I'll take you back.
Yeah.
But I have stuff to do. I want to take a long shower.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
I want to power scrub my house.
I know, right? Oh my god.
That's so sad that I'm excited to clean my oven tomorrow.
Oh man, all the things. But it's just the things that you want to do that you just can't seem to find time to do. So now that you know that your child's going to be safe, taken care of, and that they're going to be learning and enjoying
Yeah.
and socializing, like it's a win-win.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited for you.
I cannot wait. I just hope I don't chicken out when I get there and just not want to leave her.
I don't think you will. I think the best thing is just to make a very like a quick, fast, clean break. And I do that every time I leave Yara now. Like I do very, very brief like goodbyes and very extravagant hellos. Like I come back and I'm like, Yara, and it's
Yeah.
this huge thing. But when I leave, it's like peace. I'm not even joking. 9 out of 10 times I don't even like say goodbye. I'm like, okay, bye, because I know it's gonna be tears and all that stuff, and I just can't be bothered. It's just too much. By the end of it, I'm like, okay, I'm not going anywhere. So
I
just
know, it
to
takes
save
a
her
lot
and
out
save
of you.
myself. And like they say that all the time. The daycare, the kindergartens, the Montessori's are like, just go. They'll be fine. Just go. Drop her off.
I'm
Drop
gonna
them off,
peace
take off.
out as
Yeah.
fast as I can. Because usually when I drop Winter off at my mom's house, whoever's watching her, I don't even bring her in. I let John do it because she doesn't care. She doesn't care if he's leaving.
Oh my gosh.
She just doesn't care.
That's
but if
funny.
I am present, she's going to just fall down and like throw the biggest tantrum
Yeah.
Does not want to see me go. So, and then I feel terrible, and then
Exactly.
I keep popping back in. Like, is she okay now?
Exactly.
So I'm like, John, you do it because she can just be like, peace out, Dad. See you later.
Hopefully she's okay tomorrow.
Yeah.
God willing.
We're both gonna go and
that's good.
see her off.
That's
Hopefully
exciting.
she has a good day. I'm confident that she'll be okay.
Yeah.
She really, like, once she doesn't see us for about 5 to 10 minutes, then she actually doesn't even care about us.
Oh, that's the case with, I feel like, most kids. Like, once I step out of Yara's view, I wouldn't even give it 5 to 10 minutes. Like, I'm just out of view, and she's like, whatever happens to that lady with the boobs? Butterfly. And she's like,
right? Doggy, wow.
Like, 30 seconds of like, and then she's all like, just over it. So yeah, it's they're so funny that way. I don't think it'll be a problem.
So, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Shen, she captured the essence of what the last week and a half has been like. We've Yara and I have been sick, so we've been trying to recover. But you know what? God is good. I believe that we are going to be healed. I'm declaring and decreeing that we are healed.
Amen, amen.
And this cold will not win. Listen, we will not win. It will not. It's putting up a good fight, though. I'll give you that much. I'm like, this morning when I woke up, my throat was still itchy. Her nose was still runny. I'm like, how? Like, what day is it? Like, I feel like this is
over a week.
For sure. The last time she was sick definitely didn't last as long.
Yeah.
So even Leon's a bit concerned now. He's like, this is going on for long.
The weather isn't helping, though.
Not at all. I definitely don't think so.
I know, like, I just turned on my heat. And then
the dust?
It's dusty.
Yeah.
So her and I were, like, so congested. It almost reactivated it again.
Absolutely. I think that it definitely doesn't work in its favor. So Leon mentioned that he's going to try and get... I don't know, the ducts clean again, and then get like a humidifier put on the heating system. I don't know how that works, but he said that's possible. So
interesting.
Yeah, so hopefully we do that soon because that'll help. I'm also doing another pop up for Yara Bean's boutique.
Work,
Baby Bean. Yeah, so I'm trying to plan that, which is not nearly as stressful as the first time. I guess because I know like the rings, like I've done it before, but it's just trying to figure. And I'm also sharing the space with another vendor this time.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just trying to like figure out logistically what that will look like, and just organize my products and stuff. So, listeners, if you're in the Durham area on Tuesday, November 19th, come to the Oshawa Center.
Yes,
Circa 905.
The holidays are coming up, guys.
Come on,
gifts.
Capitalize on the We the North gear. Yeah, but other than that, no complaints. Everything's good. Oh, other good news. Leon's home. So there's that too.
Help.
I know.
Help.
I know, right? And it's so funny because we anticipated that he would have been laid off soon because that's just the nature of the job. Like it was a short-term thing. But we thought that it would be later on in the month. But you know what? Shai always says like God makes no mistakes. And I kid you not, he definitely does not because that snow... Ma'am, when that snow hit the ground, and I'm like, who would have shoveled this? If not for Leon, if not for the husband, what would I be? Like, I would be in shambles.
It's the little things,
It's
man.
just the littlest of things. So this morning when I woke up and I heard him, I woke up to the sound of that scraping on the driveway. I was like, oh, yes. Very grateful. So although he's a pain in my butt, I'm grateful for him, man. God bless him.
Can you imagine your sick body trying to shovel that?
Because I feel like I'd literally be trapped in my house. Like there's that much snow on the driveway. He's like, it took him a good while to get it off.
Oh my God.
And then like it's so cold now, so it's icing over. I would have been screwed. I would have been screwed. So I'm just so grateful that he's home because shoveled, salted. Tell you one thing, these men. They're the thorn in our sides, but they definitely
have some use.
They do. Every now and again, they earn their keep.
They can do some things,
right? Speaking of doing some things, wait, what? No,
what? What?
I don't know where I was about to go. I was about to take it to a kinky place. I don't know why. But let's circle back and take it to the bomb mom.
Yeah.
Keep it clean for now.
For now. I'm going to nominate for my mom. I am going to nominate for my bomb mom this week. My cousin. I always get, I think I said this the last time. I get weirded out when I have to say cousin-in-law. It doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say cousin.
Okay. Just say that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird.
She family.
Yeah. So I'm going to nominate Brittany, my cousin. She is a bomb mom.
Hey.
She's a makeup artist.
Ooh.
She does freelance makeup. And she's a hustler. She's a mom with a very energetic boy. You met her at the party.
Oh, I didn't realize. So her husband. Wait, she's John's cousin?
No,
Or her
husband.
is John's cousin.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Yeah.
This makes sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, I'm going to nominate her because I always admire a mom that's a hustler.
Amen.
When you got to do what you got to do.
Yep, mom's
for your
hustle.
babies. So,
And
shout
her
out
face
to you.
is beat.
Every day.
What's her Instagram handle? Let it be known.
BBM Beauty, I
Oh,
believe. I think there's an
man.
underscore in there, but I can't wait to tag her.
Sheesh.
She does a great job. I really love how she beats my face, and I don't regularly let people do my makeup.
Listen, those
But-
hands, blessed hands, man, blessed hands. There's
Yeah.
never been. I mean, I've only seen her twice, but both times I'm like, ma'am,
She is never a
Face.
troll ever.
never. She's not on her troll swag.
Not even in her house.
No. Wow, really?
Like, why, Brittany? You're making me look bad.
I
I'm
know.
wearing a head tie.
Don't
and
even talk.
the
Don't.
biggest sweatpants you can find.
Right now, I was about to wear my Roots tracksuit, then I was like, okay, let me just throw on my leggings. But man, listen, we are both on troll swag right now.
Heavy.
It's on like troll swag on 100. Just trolling it.
Oh, man.
Stay listen, for the merch. Troll swag. I
I was just about to say, we need some troll swag sweaters.
was gonna say it. Hashtag troll swag. I will wear it so proudly because we are entitled. We are, listen, as moms, we do the most. So we are.
I don't
we are
feel
definitely,
bad.
No,
At all.
we are entitled to have those days where we look like trolls. Yeah, but shout out to her. Her face is like beef for the gods. She's very talented.
Very. So if you want to look for a makeup artist, BBM Beauty.
Awesome.
She will be tagged on our page.
Great. My mom, you're okay. My mom for the week is my good girlfriend, Yukari Denal. Shout out to Yukari. She too is a mompreneur, boss mom. She has a company called Laundry Hub. And it's fantastic because as moms, we have a million things on our plate. And one of the things that normally, not with all moms, but most moms, a lot of moms, gets neglected is our laundry. Like, the laundry is a beast that, like, I just feel like always wins.
Defeats me every time.
Right? We go head to head, and I'm telling you, it puts up a real fight.
I'm sorry, guys.
Listen! She's popular.
Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. Let me put on Do Not Disturb.
That's okay. It happens. I love it. Super Mario. But anyhow, yeah, so Laundry Hub, we'll tag Yukari and we'll tag laundryhub.ca. But it's just a full round, all-inclusive laundry service. They pick up, they drop off. I believe they have same-day pickup, which is fantastic. And they do dry cleaning. Like, it's like the works. And it's just such an incredible service and so needed, not just for moms, but for like the everyday individual. Because I mean, if you are a working person living in the GTA, then you probably work harder than you should.
Yeah.
And that means you probably maybe don't have very much time to do your laundry or to attend to the things that you need to. So services like Laundry Hub are amazing, and they're so like instrumental in terms of just getting your life together. So I'm super proud of her. She's a mom of 2 beautiful boys. She's an incredible wife. She's a great friend. She's just an all-around amazing person. And I'm really inspired by her and by everything that she's done this year and how she's just like spearheaded this company. So Laundry Hub, Yukari Denal, shout out.
Shout out to you, girl.
Who else are we shouting out? The bomb mom who shouted herself out, which is...
You said Nicole something.
Nicole. Oh my gosh, my big sis. Nicole Brewster Mercury, who also co-owns Simply Elegant Events. She is a wedding planner, event planner, and also a full-time producer with CBC.
Dang.
And she's a mother of 3 boys, 3 beautiful boys, and a bomb-ass wife. Like, she's it. She is it. So when she nominated herself, I was like, yes, girl. 100%. You were so deserving of that nomination. We will most definitely acknowledge you. So,
Yeah.
she just deserves to be celebrated because I don't know how she does it. Like and although like, she makes it look easy, she's very vocal about the fact that it's not, which I also really love.
Right.
Like I love the transparency that she has with her friends. Everything that she does with excellence, whether it be wedding planning, because she was actually my wedding planner and she did a phenomenal job. So whether it be that or, what things that she does at work, she just does everything with excellence and gives it 100%. So
I need to talk to her.
You do. And of course she's a Virgo, so yeah, you know how that goes.
Oh, of course.
Oh yeah.
Virgos do the most.
You do, but I think that like because you do things so well, like that's why. I feel like I know that like that sounds ridiculous because it's kind of like counterintuitive, but you do a lot because you do everything so good. Like you do everything with excellence. Everything is so like just like neat and organized and like it's just done well. That you're like, oh,
that's how we stay.
I know your plate's full, but let me just drop a little bit more on that. Let me give you a couple more things to do because damn,
do the most.
Do it well. So shout out to Nicole.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
With 3 kids.
3 kids.
So many businesses.
5. Oldest is like 13. Yeah, it's not easy.
That's a lot.
It is, and the thing with wedding planning too is that like it's not just local, right? Like she's hopping on, she's jet setting. She's like in Montreal recording or like producing a story.
Yeah.
Then like comes home, does what she needs to do with her family. Next weekend, gone to Jamaica, doing a wedding there. Comes back. It's just like meeting with clients here, meeting with clients, and she's. Again, like I said, so hands-on. We're like from the beginning. So you get proposed to. Okay, do you need me to come and help you look for a dress?
Yeah.
Like she's so hands-on. I don't know how she does that.
You got to shout out her business also on the page.
Yeah, so when we do the bomb mom, we'll like tag her personal and then we can tag her.
Yeah, because I'm impressed. I'm like in awe.
That's it, man. These mom queens.
Trust me. So what are we talking about today?
I think we are discussing relationships, right? And our romantic relationships with our spouses, and how they changed and transformed for the better.
Dish some tea on our marriages.
I know. Leon's been waiting. He's like, have you started shading me yet? I'm like, define shading.
I'm like, yeah, right? John's like, no, I asked him, do you listen to the podcast? He's like, I do. And then he quoted something. I was like, oh shit, you do.
Does he?
I was like, I am going to expose our lives just to let you know. I hope you're not uncomfortable about this, but I made this promise to myself and you're a part of that. So I'm so sorry.
That's hilarious. Leon has admitted that he does not listen. I'm like, I'm going to force you to. He's like, I just feel like it's not really for me. It's like, it's not like I'm a bomb mom or anything. I'm like, ew, don't be like, stop. Just stop it. So he's going to be looking for a shout out for the rad dads. One of these.
Joe's just probably listening to see what kind of garbage I have.
So
what is she saying about me, man? What's she saying about me?
That's too funny. Like in the fight, you guys get into a disagreement, and like out of nowhere, he's like, and no. It's like, whoa, why are you quoting the show? Like, relax.
Right? Calm down, man.
Crazy.
Happened already.
Yeah,
Get over it. I feel like this is a low energy show.
It is.
Episode today. Like we're so calm. We're having tea.
I was gonna say, I'm like, doesn't help that we're having mint tea. Like it doesn't. Like it's snowing outside. It's like, oh brother dear. Was that even clear? Was the topic clear?
Huh?
The topic.
The topic probably wasn't clear. I don't know what I said just now.
Me neither.
We're still sick, guys.
Very much.
Please bear with us. We're gonna talk about relationships and
with our spouses.
Yes.
And how they changed.
So our life transitioning and how it affected our marriage.
Exactly. So we're looking at like in 3, like I guess we're breaking it down in 3 categories. Like what's one thing that we really love about the change that having children has had on our relationship? What's one thing that we maybe dislike about how having or bringing a child into our marriage has changed it? Does that make sense? What's one thing we dislike about bringing a child
makes
into? Okay. And yeah, I know, right? And one thing that we're looking forward to. So now that we're parents and we're you know, you go. I honestly, like, I'm so, like, legitimately, I don't know if it's the Benadryl. I don't know what it is. But today, it's like,
guys,
I don't even have it.
We should have went on vacation. This is
what?
We should have taken a break.
Just mid-sentence, I was like,
forgive us, guys.
All right.
It's the tea. Actually, it's not a joke.
It is.
We'll start with what we liked about this whole transition of our lives.
Yeah.
And, the exciting things that it brought to our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed or value the time that we do get to spend together alone now, because it does not come often at all, like not frequently whatsoever. I only have one option for a babysitter for overnight,
Mm.
and my mom has things to do.
Listen.
And I also don't like to impose when she has her plans, because I know my mom will just cancel her plans if I ask her. Even if she doesn't really want to, she will watch Winter for me,
Which is nice.
which is nice. But I
Yeah.
also feel like I'm not going to take away from her life just so I can, go out every month, because she only has the weekend too. She works during the week.
Absolutely.
And she wants to relax. And, a Jamaican lady wants to do 10,000 loads of laundry and cook dinner for the rest of the week.
Right?
You know how they are. So
Busy.
I don't use that card often until like we really, really need it. And, now that, Winter's wilding out upstairs.
Uh-oh. Winnie win, win.
But yeah, I think that's one thing I enjoy is when we do get to spend that little bit of quality time together, even if it's after Winter goes to bed.
Mm.
We try to have good conversation, catch up with each other,
Yeah.
check in with each other, and, just have that quality time
Mm-hmm.
and try our best to focus on being present with each other. 'Cause sometimes we just fight.
Yeah.
Not fight, but, we bicker,
Yeah, of course.
tensions are high, people are tired.
Of course.
So we try to be mindful and, enjoy the time that we do get to spend alone. Because, it's either you have, it's either you fight or you have sex. You know what I mean?
Or one then the other.
Trust me.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's awesome. I agree with you. I'm a little bit. I could say I'm a little more fortunate in that Leon's mom and my mom are like fighting as often as they can to watch Yara. They really enjoy watching her. My mom's also like a hot girl, so outside of being a Jamaican who's busy, she's also like a hot, like you. Everyone who knows my mother knows. First of all, my mom's not even a grandma; she's a Gigi. She does not even let Yara call her grandma. Yara can't even speak, and she's already said like Yara will not call me grandma because I am nobody's grandma. I'm like, okay. So my mom is like, likes to do her thing, but I'm very fortunate. I'm happy to have the two of them who will, take time out of their busy schedules to watch Yara so that Leon and I can have that time, or that I can have that time, because that time is really important. With me, one thing that I really appreciate, as far as the change that Leon and I have experienced having had Yara, is watching Leon with Yara. I've said it often that I feel like Leon was made to be a dad. Like, I knew that Leon would be a better dad before I was even sure that Leon was going to be a good husband, to be honest.
Wow.
Like, yeah, just from the beginning, like from early on in our relationship, because he has like about an 11-year age gap, I believe, between himself and his brother.
Oh.
So he's had quite a hand in, his brother's development and upbringing, and that's translated very well into him being a really involved and committed godfather to his godson, and I have watched that relationship evolve. So I knew that Leon he had what it took to be a great parent.
So cute.
And yeah, it's really cute. And I openly admit that he was far more paternal than I was, even going into like pregnancy and labor and bringing Yara home. I was more confident in Leon's abilities than my own, which is really interesting and kind of odd that I feel like, and something that I feel like a lot of women maybe wouldn't admit, because I just have never really felt those kind of maternal instincts. I'm loving and I'm affectionate, but like I've never had very much experience also with very, very young babies. So again, that didn't come naturally for me, and I didn't have an opportunity to hone those skills.
Right.
So yeah, it was weird in that respect, but I was really excited about it because I was grateful to have Leon and to be able to feed off of his confidence, right? And to learn from him. And I've had an opportunity to do that, which has been really great. And he's just amazing. He's really great with Yara. And we've said it, and it's no shock to any of the moms listening that it's a huge turn on when you see your husband taking care of the kid. Like, it's like when he's just doing it, like, you know, when he's just has the bottle in his hands and he's got the food and he's got the diapers and he's wiping and he's doing this and he's rocking and he's putting down and he's just like doing it all. It's just like, okay. Like, so long, panties, goodbye.
Drop them.
That's it. Right then and there. You're like, yeah, like this, you can get it, because it's just like, it's just, yeah, it's super, super. And it's funny because like of what's changed, right? Like 10 years ago, not even 10 years, 5 years ago, ask me like things that would turn me on. That definitely wouldn't have been
not
one of them.
on the list. Yeah.
Not at all. But like, that's just at the top of my list now. And it's great. So yeah, one of the things that I love most is watching him love Yara, because it like makes me love him more.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah. Well,
that's amazing.
I mean, hey, don't big him up too much. Don't big him up.
It's okay. He's not listening.
I know. That's true. My luck. This is the episode I listens to.
All right. Let's see here.
Right? Struts into the room. He's like, so
you said drop him.
Yeah. So you're saying I can drop them. Drop them. He's going to definitely hold me to this.
That's so funny.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about something that you kind of dislike. So now that you guys are both parents, it's annoying that, or you're annoyed by.
I got a list.
Okay.
All right.
It's going to be a longer one, folks.
I'm just kidding.
She's dropping the scroll.
I do have a book, though.
Yeah, she does.
But you know what? I was actually on the Bump. Side note, guys. I find that app was super helpful.
Very much so.
During my pregnancy and even
post-pregnant, yeah.
Because there's so many cool and interesting and informative articles and forums. When I had questions, there's a lot of forums out there to help answer those questions, even the very random ones that can my baby's right leg twitch? Is that normal? There is a relatable question for everything.
There is.
It's
and
so helpful.
If nothing else, if nothing else, the Bump has lots of tea. So much tea. Leon, so many nights Leon's like, shouldn't you be sleeping? I'm like, I need to be, I'm scrolling through comments because
they're
sometimes
so
people
funny.
be like, oh, like, you know, I got pregnant by my ex-boyfriend's, you know, best friend's cousin, sister's boyfriend, whatever. And it's like, so should I do this or should I do that?
The comments, though.
Listen, the comments are wild. Oh my gosh, so much tea.
So if you need information and a good laugh, download the Bump.
That's it. Best of both worlds.
But I was just scrolling through there one day and I saw a little list of new parent fights that you may go through. And I say that because this is a lot of things that were a challenge for our marriage during this transition is, let me just read them. The first one was, whose sleep is more important? And it sounds like so basic, but it became such a big deal.
Yeah.
To me. Because I'm like, listen, I'm already sleep deprived from before I even had the baby. I could not sleep well. And at first I tried to be considerate because I was like, oh, he has to go to work. And I don't want him to wake up in the middle of the night and lose sleep because he has to go through his whole day of work and he has to be focused. But then eventually I was like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I didn't sleep at all at any point of this day. So I need to sleep also. So he has to get up. And then we discussed it. I said, okay, let's make a deal. And once Friday hits, I'm not getting up. I'm not getting up until Sunday. And you have to, you know, tend to the baby if she wakes up in the middle of the night. Luckily, Winter started sleeping through the night, of course.
Yeah. Conveniently.
And he was like, great, you know, she's such a great baby. But, you know, anyways. And then keeping score, that wasn't really an issue for us. But screen time during family time was like a huge issue for me because I'm huge on family time. And I know everyone's addicted to their phone, or tablet, TV, you know, Instagram. And it was hard for both of us to balance because I'm like, I have things to do, and unfortunately, I have to be on social media. But then, like, where's the time where we get to be together as a family? There's like me and you time, like husband and wife time, but I want certain things to be for the family. So I started saying, you know, if we're gonna eat dinner, we all have to eat dinner together at the table.
Yeah.
Pull up that chair.
You know, and I do the same
let
thing.
the baby sit with us. Because that's what she needs to know. Like, she needs to know that at some point that we're going to be a family unit. Because you work, and then when you're done work, you have to watch her because I have things to do. So we need to have that time in our day. It's just for an hour to sit with each other, talk about our days. Winter needs to see that example.
Yeah.
To see that we are one as a family.
Yeah, that's huge. And I think it's beautiful that you also have, that's like, it's like phones off or away from, like, because I don't think you need to be on your phone that often. And I think that they're definitely, because you don't take your phone into the shower because you recognize that you can't, right? And I think that you can make the same sacrifice for food. Like, especially if it's going to be like a family dinner. You can definitely set 35 minutes, 45, even an hour aside just to engage. And I feel like the benefits definitely even outweigh the cons in that instance, because it's like you're just giving your mind a break, your eyes a break, like outside of being able to socialize and strengthen your family
and
unit.
Focus on the present.
Just like take your eyes off of the freaking screen, man. That screen time is too much.
It is. It sucks.
That's good. I love
but
that.
But again, that goes with a lot of discussions and debriefings and
discussions,
being on the same
and fighting.
Yeah, trying to be on the same page with certain things.
Yeah.
And oh, here was the big one
that we both share.
Sex.
Oh yeah.
So there is an issue that Joe and I had, and I mean, you know, this is might be normal for everyone.
Oh my god. Yeah. Leon and I had it too.
The lack of sex that we had post baby became very problematic for our marriage. And it kind of snowballed into a lot of arguments. And I understand his point of view, and I try to be understanding and accommodating, but you know, I'm not going to bring this up from my point of view because my argument is I need time.
Yeah.
I just needed time, and he needs to give me time, but I also am aware that men need sex. But also, he can accommodate me as well. I just had a baby, and our problem was he assumed that I was just better after having the baby because my labor was not too damaging to my body. I didn't have a C-section. I didn't tear. I just delivered the baby, and then I was okay. So they said, oh, you should be good as new in 6 weeks. And he counted those 6 weeks. And then, you know, when that time came, it's like, hey, did 6 weeks pass? Or, you know, like it did, but I don't know if I'll be ready. So we tried it, and I'm like, I'm not ready for this. It was painful. My body was not ready for that. And mentally, I was just like not present. I'm like, I don't feel comfortable doing something like this, and you have to like just meet me halfway here and just give me another week or two, or just wait for me to communicate that to you. And then, you know, there's frustrations will build up, and people will start getting, you know, irritable on both ends. He's irritable, then I'm irritable.
Yeah.
Things snowball into, like, you know, behaviors. Like, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to be over here now. I want to go upstairs, you know?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it becomes a challenge.
It does.
And with that challenge, you're married, so you have to figure it out. You have to find a compromise, or, you know, things will get out of hand. And, you know, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it because, you know, it's still a challenge right now.
Of course.
For us, because at every stage of a baby's life, Winter is still new. And there are new. She's still pretty new to me.
Spanking new.
And, you know, there are different challenges with her, and I have to adjust. And, you know, that affects me. And there's also different things that I went through emotionally with my postpartum anxiety. And, you know, it was really hard for me to even communicate that effectively to him for him to understand what that meant. And, you know, it's hard for someone to hear something like that and really wrap their mind around it because he won't experience it. He doesn't get what I'm saying fully.
Yeah.
He could hear what I'm saying, but he won't really understand what's happening to me in its entirety. And that was really challenging. But we just have to and continue to talk it out and revisit the topic and make sure that we're both good and check in with each other. And that's a huge thing with our relationship. Even if we're upset or not upset, we have to check in because, you know, sometimes things get out of hand and I'm like, listen, what are we doing here? Because, you know,
yep.
Are we going to be fighting forever or?
That's it. It's listen, this whole sex thing is just like, it's crazy because it's ridiculous to me how much value and how, of what importance sex bears in a man's life. And I felt like it was so trivial. I tried to trivialize it, I feel like, for the vast majority of our relationship.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I watched the sermon by Pastor Michael Todd, and it was a marriage something. I can't remember what it was. It was titled Marriage something. But the gist of it was when he talked about the fact that, like, sex is a non-negotiable in a marriage. And that, like, for a man, like, sex is the most important thing. And it was interesting because my pastor, during our premarital counseling, said the very same thing.
Yeah.
He's like, the most important thing to a man. And I'm sitting here, like, waiting, like, I'm leaning in thinking that he's going to say, I don't know, is praying, is faith, is
communication.
This guy's like, is sex.
I was like,
you cannot barter with it. You can't negotiate it. No, it must happen. And even when he said it, I was kind of like, like, you know what? I thought, because at that point, Leon and him got up, they dapped, they did like the kid and play dance around the room. Like, they had a moment. And I was just like, this is annoying. But when Pastor Michael Todd explained it as sex to a man is like security to a woman.
Right.
And he said, like, security is a non-negotiable for a woman. There's no way that you would be comfortable tomorrow if Joe came home and was like, I'm done, I'm not working. And I don't know how we're going to pay the bills, and I don't care, but I'm not working. And then, like, and every day thereafter, he just was in bed, kicking his feet up, like, laughing, joking around. Bills were coming due, like, knocks at the door, locks on the door, and he was still like, I don't care, I'm not going to do anything about it. Like, that would really upset you because above all else, women value security.
Right.
Like, financial security, emotional security, they need to feel safe.
Yeah.
That same weight is I guess
the male equivalent.
Exactly. The male equivalent is sex. And when it was compared, or at least, you know, explained that way, I was like, wow, yeah, that isn't something that I can negotiate then. That's not something that, like, you know, it's not something that's up in the air. Like, it's not something that we can debate. It is something that I need to provide for you.
Right.
Because I need that to be provided for me.
Right.
And you need to provide it that much more when the other person is providing the other side, right?
Yeah.
Like, when your needs are being met in that way.
Yeah.
And I used to think of it like, well, like, you know, I really value romance, and I felt like, you know, the romance is falling off. So if the romance is falling off, then I don't have to have sex with you.
Yeah.
And Leon's like, but learning and from that sermon, and even again talking to other married couples, I very much learned that I was like, no, you can't. Don't equate it to anything else but security. And if you do that, then you'll understand that, you know, it's something that you have to do. And it's not to say that, like, you should be having, like, sex with your spouse where you don't enjoy it and you're just like, oh, I know I have to do this, so let's do this. Like, no, you really need to, like, you do as much as you can on both ends to make sure it's something that you enjoy.
Like, what their sexual needs are.
Absolutely.
What they would need to survive.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't, some people, like, I don't need it every day, but they're like,
of course.
We need to do it at least 3 times a week.
Well, that's exactly it, right? Yeah. Because, I mean, especially if you are living in this society where you need to be working way more than you should. The vast majority of us can't afford to do that because we don't have time, we don't have the energy. So it's not even like anybody's really asking to have sex like they did when they were like 23, 25. It doesn't
need to be like this romantic scene.
And it doesn't need to be like this raunchy, crazy thing either. Like, no one needs to be swinging from here, there, and everywhere. Like, if you can, then go for it. But the reality is, it's like, yeah, we do need that intimacy. So I didn't realize that it was that importance. And similarly to Shen and Joe, Leon and I reached like a breaking point in our marriage shortly after Yara arrived, and it was like, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
I
We're
think
fighting every day.
I think I met you the
Yeah.
day I proposed the podcast to you, and then we ended up in the park.
Exactly.
The
With our
kids
children.
almost rolled down the hill the way we were going in.
Listen, we were at the top of the hill. The kids, we were just like standing at the top of the hill shouting. The kids were sitting there. They could barely sit up at that point. And they were about to like just like roll like little barrels down a hill because we were just so like convicted in our thoughts. We were so like, we were so desperate to share where we were coming from.
It's this is why I say it's very important to have like an outlet with people that share the same experiences as you. Because
Yeah.
I could have went to my single friends and told them that, and they'd be like, "Girl, get a divorce. You don't need this.
Yeah,
you could do it all by
possibly,
yours."
right?
Some people just don't have that perspective. But like
Exactly.
it was very helpful, even though I just met Leigh at that time.
Yeah.
And that was totally out of character to me.
Well, it's
even
like just to
I
go
was like,
there.
"Girl, listen to me, because you're married."
Right.
And you're a new mom, so I know you'll understand. Like, help me. And she even dropped those gems with me about the sermon that she listened to that day,
Yeah.
and that was
Go for it.
sorry. So when she told me about that sermon, I'm like, okay,
Makes sense.
this makes complete sense to me. I'm like, I'm gonna go home and fix my life.
That's it. And it's not to say that like once I watched that sermon, I was like, okay, every day, Leon, here you go. Like this is what like lucky you. No, it wasn't that.
It
because
made me open to conversation. now.
exactly. Because I think what Leon still needed to understand, which is like the other side of the coin, was that I had like second-degree tearing, and that like I was not feeling myself, and that there were I had stitches. Like there was so many things going on. That 6-week mark, yeah, that didn't exist for me because I was still experiencing postpartum bleeding for like 10 weeks. So like it just wasn't like, yeah, it wasn't a super happy story as far as like my sexual spirit. Like it just wasn't there. But it was great that we had that conversation, and it was great that I had that understanding, and having that conversation helped. But that was definitely something that I didn't anticipate would have happened, and that was a shocker for me. It was definitely a shocker. But outside of just dealing with issues regarding sex and the lack thereof, I also was concerned about Leon's presence and whether or not Leon would be able to maintain a job locally given the financial challenges that we would likely experience because I was no longer employed. Anyone who's on maternity leave now knows that
Yeah.
it's nothing. It's nothing. Like, it's better than nothing. That's the reality, because I think in other countries it's far less. So I am grateful for the little that we get.
Right.
But dear God, it's just like, it's a huge slice to my salary at least. And that's made it challenging. And I knew that that would potentially be a problem. And shortly after having Yara, Leon was like, yeah, I have to do something. I'm going to have to go somewhere, but I can't work here.
Yeah.
And that's hard because that meant that I would be the primary caregiver for Yara, and that I would have to be home alone with her throughout the course of the week and things like that. So that didn't end up happening, which was tough. Thank God it was only temporary, and I knew that going in, but it was still something that I was just disappointed with, because obviously I want my spouse to be here. I want him to, see Yara grow and be a part of that experience. But that's the reality of child rearing and marriage and
life.
But especially, I feel like the cornerstone of parenting is that it is sacrificial. Like, and so what I want is secondary. And so that was tough. But you know what? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I feel that the distance has made Leon and my relationship stronger. People call us long distance specialists because we've battled the whole long distance thing for a while. So if anyone is in a long distance relationship, long distance marriage, I stand in solidarity with you, and I urge you, message me. Let's be friends.
Because it is unheard of to me. I have not seen that before.
I know a couple people actually who are in
Really?
long distance relationships, long-term long distance relationships.
That resulted in marriage?
I know someone who's married and in a long distance relationship. Yeah.
Oh.
Not the easiest thing, but more common than you'd think, especially like depending on like what fields, right? So
Yeah,
if they're in
that's
like
true.
artists, like they're athletes, like yeah,
That's true.
not uncommon. In the States, that's really common.
Yeah,
In
that
the
seems
army,
normal. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Well, kudos to you, girl.
well, thank you.
But you know what? I feel like the distance is always good sometimes because you kind of have that space to yourself to figure. Well, I know in this transition, I feel like it would be good for you to figure things out for yourself because I know like Joe works from home
Mm-hmm.
and we're always in each other's spaces. So that also contributed to the challenges that we did have.
Yeah.
I feel because he was always around and not that I'm saying he was trying to help, but I didn't have that space at first to kind of figure out my own rhythm without like an interference.
Okay.
And as did he. Like I was always there. So if he was like, "Okay, I'd be like, "Okay, give her a bath."
Mm-hmm.
I'm going downstairs. But then like I can go upstairs and I'm like, like, did you check the water? Did you get that towel? Make sure you get the rag. Make sure you hold her like this. She might slip out your arms.
Yeah.
And we weren't giving each other that space to kind of, come into our own as parents.
Yeah.
And again, that was a challenge for us because I know myself because I was so anxious about everything. I was like under his butt,
micromanaging.
And that was very tough for him because eventually he just almost didn't want to do anything because I was in his space, and it was very hard for me because I had to be very mindful to like take a step back and just let him figure it out. Even if he makes a mistake,
Of course,
it's not a mistake. It's a teachable moment for him, just like how I had those teachable moments. And he can learn something that he can teach me, and I can learn something that I can teach him, and it will be better received if we're just sharing gems and pointers instead of like telling each other what to do
and barking at each other. Leon and I are still working on that now. I feel like Leon more so than me, oddly enough. Like he's just like it's more often it's the delivery. Like little things. It's like why did you put that there? Why would you put that? Like it's like okay, hold on. Like we both love the kid. Like we made her together. We both care about her. She's important to the both of us. So like let's take a moment, regroup, and rephrase because no, that's not healthy. But again, it's tough because
it's tough.
Yeah, parents are protective.
It's constant mindfulness.
Yeah,
because when you work together, it's a blessing because at some point someone's gonna need the other to carry.
Oh, for sure.
Carry the load because when Winter was brand new, and we first brought her home, I gave her a warm bath and I took her out the bath. And she started doing like this little twitch thing. And I was like, oh, Jesus.
What is this?
I had a complete meltdown. I was screaming and crying.
What do you think was happening?
I don't know.
Okay.
I thought she was having a seizure.
Oh, boy.
So I called John and I'm like crying. And he's like, just give her to me. And like he takes her. He had his shirt off. He's like, just give her to me. Give me the towel and give me the baby. So he takes her. And like as soon as he takes her and puts her like skin to skin, she's just like
calm.
Poos all over him.
Ew.
So she was just having like her first big bowel movement.
Yeah. So that's what she was shaking.
Yeah.
That's what she was shaking up. She's like, oh,
here it comes.
Oh, she's just winding up that foot.
But that was like a huge moment, like a quiet moment internally for me because I'm like, I just need to let him support me.
Yeah.
Because there are, like, I'm not going to know everything. And sometimes I just need someone to keep me calm.
Yeah.
And just carry the load for a second.
Absolutely.
So I don't have a mental breakdown every 5 seconds.
And what a fun moment for, like, a memorable moment
hilarious.
for the two of you. That's so cute.
And just looking crazy, like, and laughing at the same time.
Yeah. Because that new baby poo is hot and runny.
It was like popcorn. It was so nasty.
Oh, my gosh.
But yeah.
That's wild.
Let's move on from the negative.
Okay. And now to upward and onward to what we're looking forward to. So what can't you wait to see or to experience?
I just can't wait to experience life with my little family. I can't wait for our first family vacation. I can't wait for, John and I to go to her first school concert. I can't wait for, her first picture that she draws for. I can't wait for her firsts and experiencing that together.
Yeah. I think like off the cusp of just experiencing her first birthday, that's definitely something that I think I could see you being really excited about, because it was such a beautiful moment for the three of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like and that's what we said. Like, although again we were not a huge fan of the elaborate, over the top first birthdays, I totally believe that in a first birthday celebration, because it's not just for the baby. Like, it's just like looking at the two of you, like, wow, you guys did it. Like, you made it a full year. You guys are still intact. Everything.
We didn't kill each other.
Right? Marriage is still going. Like, baby's healthy and happy. Like, you did that.
We made it through the trenches, man.
Yeah.
I was very happy. That was a monumental moment for me. I'm like, wow, I made it out of this alive.
Yeah.
I have so many funny stories.
That's it. And it's so funny because it's like my uncle was listening to our podcast the other day. And he's like, I love that you guys think the first year is the hardest. He's like, ha! He's got two kids. One of them's like 19 and the other one is 15, I think. And he's like, he's like, I won't even bother. I don't even want to scare you. He's like, so I won't even go there. He's like, just enjoy it while it lasts. That's all I'm going to say. He's like, the first is nothing. And I get that because it's the same thing. Like, remember when you were pregnant and you thought that labor would be the hardest thing?
Yeah.
And it was like, now in hindsight.
No, I'd do that again. Over and over. Well, maybe not you.
Well, definitely, listen. I do it over. One over. Stress on the one over, and that's it. Yeah, for me, it's a similar thing. I think I'm really looking forward to seeing how Leon behaves when we go to Yara's concerts. Like, is he gonna be that crazy dad that's like standing on the seat, clapping, screaming, carrying on? I know that I'm going to be, because that's who my mother has always been. Like, my mom came to my grade 12 play. This is grade 12.
Yeah.
She had like a Lilo and Stitch doll that said "You're my star." She had a balloon at my graduation.
Cute.
Yeah, she's wild. I'm the first person on my mom's side of the family to have ever attended and graduated university.
Wow.
So it was a huge deal.
Yeah.
And she like wouldn't sit down. It was the cutest thing ever. Like, I remember being at the top, like on the stage, and there's like, I don't know, 250 other graduates, and there's like what seems like a sea of people like across from us, and I just could see this little tiny black figure that's like bent. Like, her bum's like hovering over the seat, but it just can't find its way down. And I'm just like motioning for her to like go down, go down, go down. And finally my dad's able to get her down, because she's just like tears in her eyes, so worked out. So
that's so nice though.
Yeah, that's who she is, and that's who I know I'm going to be, like 150%. There's no doubt about that. But I'm looking forward to seeing how Leon's going to react, because he is like self-proclaimed cool dad. Like, I'm so cool. Like, oh yeah, like I'm not going to freak out, or I'm not going to do this. And I'm just like, I doubt it. You're going to be tea parties, nail polish, like hair. You're getting your hair done. You're going to have to put on one of my wigs. And she's going to have to let her brush it, because you have to go to the tea party decked out. So yeah, I'm just excited to see like how that transforms him, and how he has to strip the layers of himself that he may not be so comfortable with, but
he'll do it in a heartbeat.
Of course, you'll have to. You'll have no choice.
That's exciting, though. I'm so excited about that. I'm not excited about Winter becoming a teenager, though. I am very vocal about that all of the time.
I know.
Like, John, you're gonna have to take the steering wheel for that one, because I don't know. I cannot with teenagers. I think I'm gonna be better than I believe I want to be.
Yeah,
but it's like I'm dreading it.
Really?
I'm going to be like, oh, Lord.
And that's funny. Like, I don't mind teenagehood nearly as much as I don't like that, like that puberty, like that
10-year-old to
12
12-year-old.
to like, oh yeah, that 11 to like 15. I hate that. Like, oh God, that's like the worst for me.
Sassy pants.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a unwritten, I guess, like unwritten rule, but like a mutual understanding amongst teachers that the hardest years by far, from K all the way to grade 12, to teach is 7 and 8. 7 and 8 are the worst.
Those
years.
were my.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So like, I, again, being a high school teacher, I feel very comfortable around teenagers. I love teenagers. Again, it may be very different when I have one of my own, but I do really enjoy them, and I feel like of the age groups, that's the one that I feel like I get. Like I just haven't understand, and it's weird because I feel like sometimes I'm like the teenage whisperer where I'm speaking to parents in parent-teacher interviews and I'm telling them things about their kids that they don't even know.
Wow.
And like, yeah, and it's really interesting. Like, not like personal things, but I'm like, oh, did you know that he loves to draw or he's passionate about this or that? And she's like, what? And it's because these kids, like, they divulge, they share things with me that they may not share with their family members. But in any event, I love teenagers. But yeah, that adolescent period, I don't know how I feel about that. So that I'm concerned about. But you know what? I feel like
just pray, Lord, give me the patience.
That's all.
Child.
And in the end, I feel like there's benefits and drawbacks to every single stage.
Of course.
Yeah, every stage.
I just, I always pray that my marriage stays strong in each stage.
Well, that's it. And I think, I don't know if it was, was it last episode we talked about it? Maybe not. Possibly. But it's like Ayesha Curry said, just make sure you put your marriage first. Like, find time to celebrate your relationship and to nurture it, because if you don't, it's going to be a challenge. It's gonna trickle down. If your marriage isn't straight, if you're not straight, then there's no way that you're gonna be in any capacity. You're not gonna be in the place that you need to be to take care of your child. And by straight, I mean, like, again, nurturing a relationship that is worth being nurtured. If you're also in a relationship that isn't, then you need to come out of that. So the same thing applies, so that you can take care of your kids accordingly.
Right.
But I believe in, like, again, self-care, nurturing those relationships, the ones that are closest to you, your friendships, your romantic relationship, and then hoping to God that it's enough to see you through the trenches of parenting.
Yeah, I agree. But, marriage takes work.
Oh, God.
And the second you acknowledge that and accept that, then you will not quit so easily.
I always say that everybody wants to be a bride, but not very many people want to be a wife.
And that takes a lot of, what is the word? I can't even remember right now.
Tenacity, time, effort,
self-awareness.
Yes.
And being able to, hold yourself accountable, because, you're not always going to be right. And you're going to have to be able to acknowledge that. And, open dialogue is very, very important. I think it's a close tie to sex.
It is. Yeah, Leon, you're not always going to be right. You're listening. Listen up.
Because, if things aren't communicated, because, again, there's so many layers to communication in itself. And some things are said and not received.
Yeah.
So if you have open dialogues, then you're able to explain, unpack, and actually understand what each other is saying. Because things get lost in the sauce. And maybe I'm like some people have learned in their household that they're yellers, and they learn from their family that, when they argue, it's loud. Or some people are passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Then there becomes a lot of arguments because people just don't understand how they're communicating.
I remember reading a quote that said that marriages or relationships don't fall apart because people argue. They fall apart because people don't know how to argue.
Right.
Yeah. So again, arguments or arguing is inevitable, and I think in a lot of ways it's constructive and very effective in strengthening relationships. But it's about how that's happening and what happens after. Like, is there a debrief? Like, there needs to be some type of discussion and resolve.
I know a lot of people hate the idea when I bring it up, maybe amongst the Black community, is counseling and couples therapy. I think that's very important, because when you get married, you don't know everything about a person.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a healthy way to understand each other when there's a mediator.
Yeah.
When things are bad. Or also, I am pro therapy when things are good. In that case, you have positive feedback, and it's not always a negative experience. And also, it helps you find tools to prepare for different transitions in life. For example, if I was pregnant again, I'd be like, maybe we should go to counseling and have like an open dialogue to help prepare setting our expectations. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I remember reading a quote that said that counseling shouldn't be treated like the hospital. Like counseling is like the spa. Like you go to the spa to feel better. You go to the spa. You're not sick per se, but you just need a little boost. And but people treat counseling or therapy like something that you do when you're sick, when something's rotten or it's dying or decaying. But it doesn't have to be that. You do counseling, or you go to counseling rather, to strengthen something. This is awful. Yo, let's wrap.
With that being said, our headphones are doing weird things, so we want to wrap this up.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't like this.
I hope this translates well in post. Oh, God.
I know.
Anyways, we're going to leave it at that.
Friends.
I think this was a long one.
It was.
Or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see when I load this up after all that editing.
But still, share your thoughts with us. Let us know what kinds of things you were looking forward to or excited about when your family transitioned, things that you disliked, things that you're looking forward to. We want to know. Does it feel laggy to me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm like, is it me or is this thing
tripping
like
me out?
Oh.
So yeah, holler at us on our Instagram. We're eating some snacks chips now. And I think in our next episode, we should talk about friendships and sisterhood, and finding a mom community. Kind of unpack that whole deal and how being a mom has changed some relationships or help you find new relationships and groups of people or supports.
True, but you know what the funny thing too? I think we should talk about not only how finding I hate this thing. Not only about finding like a mom tribe, but also finding and being okay with being friends with people who don't have children. So I feel like there's so much value in that too, because sometimes like with moms, you can get into this mom bubble. Yes. And it's just like, oh, what about this? What about what is? And before you know it, you're at a party, and I spent the entire time talking about Yara. And it's like, that's weird. Whereas sometimes, again, you meet people who don't have kids. They may ask you a couple questions, and they're like, oh, so what do you do? Oh, you started this. You do. And it's like you're realizing that you're talking about you, right? You're sitting at the forefront. That facet of your identity is not you're not being forced in any way to be the mom. You're allowed to be yourself. So I think that there's value in both sides. So.
I agree, because I actually got very frustrated with myself the other day because I went out to hang with some friends, and I was chatting with some ladies, and of course the topic went on, oh, how's your baby? Great. She's at home with my mom. Everything's cool.
Moving on.
Yeah. And we just started going down that rabbit hole of my baby did this and this. And then we just talked about babies for a long time. And I was okay at the time while we were speaking about it. But then when I got home later that night, laying in my bed, I'm like, I'm so annoyed. Why did I talk about winter for so long?
Too long.
I think it's just a brief intro. She's fine. I'm at a party. Away from her, I want to focus on me and having a good time with adults.
Right.
Anyways, we will.
Anyways, y'all. Chomping away. We love you and are so thankful that you're still listening to us.
Yes, we really appreciate the support from every single one of you guys.
I know.
And I guess when I release this, we might be at 500.
I was gonna say, you want to talk about the giveaway?
I think, or not I think, when we reach 500 listens, which will probably be by the time I post this, we are going to do a giveaway.
Yay!
Just to show our appreciation to our listeners, because we truly, really appreciate this, because we did not expect anything from this, really. It was just an outlet for us.
For sure.
And we're getting so much love from you guys.
So much love, so much feedback. Like, it's just been such a positive response that we felt like there's no way we can't honor the community that we're building. So you don't have to be a mom to enter, but you have to be a listener and a follower.
We'll give give you the lowdown of how this is going to work on our Instagram. So you can find us over there. Again, DM us your mom shout out noms.
Yes.
Also, on whatever platform you are listening to the podcast on, you please, if you don't mind, leave us a review.
Yeah, like
it, follow us,
and leave us some comments. Shout out to I know it's Ange. I know it's Ange. A former coworker turned friend of mine left us an awesome review on Apple Podcasts.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's really, really good. I love it. So thank you so much for that.
Oh, thank you, Ange. I hope it's Ange.
Yeah, thanks. I know it is. Like, just based on what she said in the review and her name, it's so distinctively her. So thanks.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening, and we will see you all next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Nap time's over.